The talking head said that heaven is a place where nothing ever happens, and if that's true, then Anthem must be a fucking utopia. The game, since it came out last February, has, shall we say, not had a great time of it. It was rubbish, is the main problem with it, is that it was a game that was Actually, that wasn't even the main problem with it. If the main problem with it was that it was rubbish, it wouldn't have been so bad, but the main problem with it was that its development was plagued with bad management, poor planning, and abusive crunch that stressed its workers into oblivion. Nothing's ever gonna fix that, but maybe BioWare can fix the first problem that I brought up, the fact that Anthem is basically crap. A year later, BioWare is promising that Anthem is gonna see some major overhauls, echoing what we saw with No Man's Sky, which also launched with boring, threadbare content, and was updated about a year later by Hello Games with, well, content. That was a nice thing to see in it. I thought the game was still a bit pants, but people were very impressed by the overhaul, and there was an impressive amount of content added to it. It appears that that is what BioWare would like to see for Anthem. Despite the fact that the game's public interest couldn't be lower and its player base bled out after launch, BioWare still wants to make this thing a success, which, well, good luck. Over on BioWare's official blog, there is an Anthem update posted by Hudson, who might be in charge of Anthem now, who the fuck even knows. And that update discusses the reinvigoration that BioWare plans to inject into Anthem. Hey everyone, starts the blog in italics. 1 year ago we were preparing to launch Anthem, a game that represented a big leap into new territory for us as a studio. I don't know, from what I've heard, crunch was not a big leap for you. What was it you called it? BioWare magic? It was an exhilarating and terrifying experience to go out to the world with something new and different. What? It was a bare bones fucking looter shooter. They're not actually all that new or particularly different. And we are grateful to all the players who have come along with us on the journey. It has been a thrill for us to see the creativity of our players in designing customised javelins and watching them master Anthem's flying and fighting gameplay. I am so proud of the work the team has put into this game, and at the same time there's so much more that we, and you, would have wanted from it. Well, yeah, I mean, we would have wanted something from it. And something is so much more than the nothing that was in it. See, I make him right on that, Over the last year, the team has worked hard to improve stability, performance, and general quality of life while delivering 3 seasons of new content and features. We have also heard your feedback that Anthem needs a more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression, and a more fulfilling end game. So we recognise that there's still more fundamental work to be done to bring out the full potential of the experience. Fundamental work. A year later, and it will require a more substantial reinvention than an update or expansion. Over the coming months, we will be focusing on a longer-term redesign of the experience, specifically working to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, while preserving the fun of flying and fighting in a vast science fantasy setting. And to do that properly, we will be doing something we'd like to have done more of the first time around, giving a focused team the time to test and iterate, focusing on gameplay first. Right, let's bring up the obvious point. Anthem is a year old now, and BioWare is finally sitting down to focus on gameplay first. One would hope that during a video game's development, before release, the studio would be focusing primarily on testing, iterating, and the gameplay element of the video game. A video game being a game that you play with gameplay. Unfortunately, as this statement demonstrates, that's not always something we can expect from your average AAA video game. Especially when the studios behind those games are crunching the developers so hard, they have full-blown nervous breakdowns. The fact that BioWare didn't even know what Anthem was gonna be until the 11th hour didn't help matters either. Different people have been in charge of it, it kept going back to the drawing board, it was poorly planned, abusively created, and when it launched, it fell flat on its fucking face. Anthem was yet another live service aboard the live service gravy train. It had the obligatory roadmap of content, and that roadmap was not followed because BioWare was running around putting out fires that spawned in the wake of the game's launch. We've talked about the concept of the Mega Patch on the Gymquisition before, a major update that fundamentally changes the game, an attempt at a second chance after the first impression goes over so incredibly poorly. In some ways it's a bit of a sunk cost fallacy situation. So much has gone into the game, so much investment, so much time, so many resources, that simply abandoning it may not be seen as viable. And sometimes it really has proven fallacious. Evolve tried to completely overhaul itself at one point, turning free to play, rebalancing everything, fundamentally changing the way it worked, and it didn't help. In the end, Evolve died a death. No Man's Sky fared better, but then again, there were still people playing No Man's Sky when it had its big overhaul. I know we've made offhand shitty little jokes about Fallout 76 having no players, but if we were to make those jokes in earnest, I mean, it's not like 0 people are playing Anthem, but all significant interest in the game died off in a matter of weeks. Thanks to an increasingly online world, almost every console is connected to the internet. The idea that games get patched, the idea that games are ongoing, that's pretty much normalised, but even in that world, first impressions still matter. No Man's Sky may have improved, but people are not going to forget how it launched. People are not going to forget the controversies and the kerfuffles surrounding it. Similarly, and more lethally, by the time Evolve Stage 2 rolled around, people had already been completely turned off by the thing. Anthem has a chance to succeed. Everything's got a chance to succeed, and again, as I said earlier, good luck to them, but I dare say the game has a hell of an uphill climb if it's to regain a substantial player base and become a sustainable, worthy entry in the live service marketplace. When No Man's Sky got its mega patch, I gave it another chance. Again, I didn't much care for it, but they did put in the effort, they did put in the graft. Similarly, when Anthem gets whatever mega patch is coming its way, I think I'll check it out as well. But take all the fucking time you need, BioWare, and don't fucking hurt people with crunch. Don't create more of what you in your studio call stress casualties, where people get so fucked up from overwork that they need to take a month off. We'll see where this goes. I honestly don't expect Anthem to have a major revival, some sort of resurgence of popularity. I don't think this is going to be a Cinderella story. You know, like that famous fairy tale where Cinderella developed a video game and nobody liked it until a prince put a slipper on it. Or something like that. I've been wrong in the past, on the rare occasion, so who knows? Maybe they will give this big update to Anthem and everyone will play it and everyone will love it. I don't think it's likely, but there is a chance. We'll have to see where it goes. Until then, Anthem is still available to play, but why would you play it? The game. Anthem.